Greetings and salutations, my friends. Welcome to part 2 of our super experiment where we take the 2018-19 season with all the updated transfers and everything and run it 100 times and see. So in part 1 we looked at the league table, the average points. Today we are going to look at the top goal scorers. Now, not only is this going to be a fascinating and somewhat surprising results, it also helps if you're looking to buy a striker, because some of these strikers that are scoring prolifically over a course of 100 seasons to buy in your game, you know, some of these are quite cheap to pick up and stuff like that. So without further ado, let's go and have a look. So in at number 20th, in at 20th position, just scraping into the top 20, is the Bournemouth striker Callum Wilson. Many of you will know this guy is a very good piece of business. The biggest problem, he would have been much higher in the rankings, probably top 10, but he is really broken human being. He is so injury prone. There were so many seasons where his appearances just disappeared as I was inputting all the data, and he just had, I would say, about a good third of the seasons he played barely any games because of his injury proneness. So I think for the price that you'd pick him up in the game, I don't think he was really worth picking up, because unless you had other really good strikers. Unfortunately for little Callum, he did make it into the top 20, which is pretty good. He averaged 8.23 goals per season. And like I said, the seasons where he was not injured, he would get 15 plus goals average. But lots of injuries. He never finished the top goal scorer in the Premier League. So I think he'd be probably happy with 20th, considering the injury-ness of him. Now in at number 19, it is Dele Alli for Tottenham with the whole thing he does. 9.65 goals, so quite a jump. Still no top goal scorer, but obviously played more as an attacking midfielder. And I think that's a brilliant return. He's also got a bunch of assists most of the season. I'm going to be doing a separate video with all the top assist makers, the creative side of the football. So I'm assuming he'll be on that list yet. I haven't input all the details. What I will do is I'll show you at the end my spreadsheet so you can see the craziness that is my life at the moment, doing data entry of football stats. But well done, Dele Alli. I think there's not many out-and-out midfielders in this list. He can play up top, so I didn't really specifically go in to see how many times he played as a striker and stuff, because it would have taken me months to do it all if I went into massive detail. But to average almost 10 goals a season is pretty damn good. So, in at number 18, it is Ashley Barnes for Barnsley. 9.7 goals on average per season. Really good player. Maybe a surprise to many to be sort of this high in the list. I think he's a good sort of well-rounded. He's not maybe the best finisher, but he's good in the air and all that sort of good stuff. So I think it's fair to say, you know, he's done well for himself. You know, finishing above the likes of Dele Alli. Well, to be fair, he's a midfielder. And Callum Wilson, to be fair, he's always injured. But he's still well done, Ashley Barnes. A second midfielder to make this list, probably a no surprise. Obviously, in real life, he's just been injured for a couple of months. As a Liverpool fan, I don't celebrate those sort of injuries, because I want to beat teams when they're at the best, not because they've got their best players injured. So get well soon, Kevin De Bruyne, one of the best players in the Premier League, he scored one goal more over the course of 100 seasons than Ashley Barnes. 9.75, massive return for the attacking midfielder. In at number 16, probably I would say a lot of people would predict this guy to be a little bit higher. An absolutely superb player, Lacazette, 9.75, same as De Bruyne, and he's superb. The one thing I noticed when I was doing all the input for him was that he was a substitute a lot of the time. He started on average, just plucking. He might start 15 games and have 15 sub-appearances. So actually, for that sort of return, obviously, Arsenal are going to be in the game, are playing with one up top. Obviously, Aubameyang's the sort of main man. So Lacazette maybe isn't first choice at Arsenal, but to have a return of 9.75, that's great. And if you're playing Football Manager, maybe keep an eye on him, because I'm assuming he's going to get upset about not getting enough game time. So well worth the pickup if you can. Probably going to cost you a lot of money, but the goal return is brilliant for the amount of games he's played. Absolutely superb. In number 15th, we have Raul Jimenez for Wolves, the first player to get over 10 goals and the first player on the list to become top goal scorer for one season. 11.56 average return, so it's quite a jump. I know fuck all about him, so well done, Raul. In at number 14th place, I think this is quite a bit of a surprise pick. It's Yarmolenko for West Ham, 11.64. Didn't finish top goal scorer, but really, really steady stats. Every season he was getting between sort of 10, 15 goals. He was doing superbly well. He is what I'd consider a winger, but he can in the game. His finishing is amazing and stuff like that. So whether they're playing him more as an inside forward or even up top that he can play as well, I wouldn't be surprised at all because he has all the striker stats. So I imagine with that sort of goal return, he is playing up top quite a lot. But well done, Mr. Yarmolenko. So in at number 13, we have the first Chelsea player, and that is Morata. He's got 11.85 goals on average per season, finished top goal scorer once. He's a superb striker in the game. Obviously, in real life, I don't know what's going on at Chelsea. It'll be interesting to see the sort of season he has. Last season was just crap, wasn't it? And a lot of it, I don't know, just mentality. His confidence was low. I don't know what happened to him. Whether he recovers that form in real life, we'll see. But in the game, he's done pretty damn well with averaging almost 12 goals. You've got to take into account that these averages are going to be lower than what you might expect a top striker to score because over the course of 100 seasons, there's going to be times where he may be sold in January, he might have got bad injuries, so that's always going to take the average lower than what you maybe expect. So our second Chelsea player in the list, the first team to get 2 players, yeah? I think I'm correct. Yes, it's Oliver Giroud, 11.86, one more goal than Morata. Probably plays a little bit less games when I was doing the input than Morata. Lots of sub appearances as well. So really, really good stuff from a big man with a lovely beard. It's with a heavy heart that I announce the 11th position. That is Mo Salah. Disgusting. 12.16 average goals, which is good, but it's not Mo Salah, is it? I should probably speak too early. He'll probably scored 10 goals this season. Top scorer once with about 21 goals, I think it was. Just massively disappointing, but it's almost fair enough. You remember that we're basing these on the attributes and the positional that the FM set him beginning of last year. So they didn't know that he was going to score 7,000 goals this season. So it's fair enough in a way. But I'm interested to see when I do the same experiment. I'm going to do the exact same experiment, but with FM19, with updated attributes, updated positions, and all that sort of stuff, to see if he improves. I also find just the game and the AI generally, those like inside forwards or attacking wingers don't score as many as some of the players do in real life, so that could be a part of it. But it'll be interesting to see when we do the same in FM19. But sadly, Mo Salah, number 11, not even in the top 10. Next up, we have the handsome devil himself. It is Troy Deeney for Watford with 12.53 goals. Top scorer once. He was just absolutely solid. He's a really good all-rounder. I'm assuming in FM19 he'll be downgraded a little bit. He's not quite the player he once was, but still a solid performer. In the top 10, number 9 spot, we have our third Chelsea player, and that's Eden Hazard. He's just really good at football. He got 12.74 average goals a season, top scorer once, really good attacking midfielder, inside forward. You could play him a bunch of roles. You could play him up top if you wanted. His finishing is not quite as high as some of the top strikers, but he more than makes up for it in other areas of his game. Absolutely outstanding. In 8th, this might be a bit of a surprise to most. It's certainly shocked me because I have no fucking clue who this guy is. His name is Florin Andone. He plays for Brighton. He averages 12.89 goals a season, which is damn good for a smaller side like Brighton. Like, amazing stuff. Didn't finish top goal scorer, but he was prolific. Every season he'd score a hatful of goals. He's very good. His attributes are very good. I just have no clue who he is. Next up, at number 7... we have Alexis Sanchez. I've just realised I've put him as an Arsenal player. He's clearly not. He does play for Man United in the game when I did the experiment. I'm just an idiot and forgot stuff. It's going to be interesting to see how he does at Man United this season. But in the game, they're saying 12.98 goals, not top goal scorer once. Whether he's going to play more up front alongside Lukaku or play as that sort of inside forward role on the left or even in the middle as a number 10, I don't know, but the game thinks he's going to do brilliantly. He's obviously still a superb player. And he does play for Man United, not Arsenal. I'm just an idiot. Next up, and I'm a little bit happier about this, boys, there's a bit of a jump up to 14.05 goals, and that is Bobby, Mr. White Teeth Firmino. Yes, that's more like it. He's finished top goal scorer 5 times, 14 goals a season, average. It's pretty damn epic. Really, really pleased with that. In real life, he's added more and more goals to his game. He's never really a striker before, but obviously he plays perfect in that sort of false 9 role, tracking back, creating stuff, but still scoring a hatful of goals. He's just an absolute beast in the game, and he has the whitest teeth in the world. So in at number 5, we have our second Man United player. I would have put him as one of my favourites to finish top goal scorer with 14.48 goals a season, 5 top goal scorer awards. It's Ramallah Lukaku. I'm not going to put him up on the screen because apparently I didn't screenshot just him and I've got him included in the next one and I don't want to give it away. So just imagine that line being up there with Ramallah Lukaku. 14.48. He's just a massive, scary-looking target man that's just brilliant at football. Good on the deck as well. He's probably going to score a ton this season, well over 20 goals. So, not unexpected. I would expect him to be a little higher, if anything. And in at number 4, the most surprising of them all, by far, this is weird, our second Burnley player, it is Chris Wood. He finished top goal scorer 11 times with an average of 14.84. The guy's a machine. He was never injured. He had great season every season. There was never a drop-off season. He was so steady in his goals scored, like averaging just or getting sort of 15-ish goals pretty much every season with the occasional injury or bad season, but so amazingly well. He's worth a fair bit of money, but you can prize him away from Burnley pretty much. You know, if you're a bigger team, if you're a top 4 team, you can easily prize him away from Burnley. And he scores a shit ton of goals. I did not expect to see a Burnley player in the top 4, got to be honest. Next up in number 3, it is the epically named Pierre, Emerick, Aubameyang. He scored 16, quite a jump up, 16.7 goals per game. And he's got 18 top goal scorer awards, plays for Arsenal. As I said before when we talked about Lacazette, he seemed to be playing as more of a lone striker with Lacazette as his deputy. A massive goal return, an average of 16.7. That is ridiculous. And obviously he's the king of pace. He's got like 20 pace and 19 acceleration or something in the game. He is an absolute monster of a player. Very, very good. I'm really looking forward to seeing how he does for Arsenal this season. I think he's going to tear it up. He's been brilliant since he arrived. Even when Arsenal at the back end of last season weren't playing the best, he was still a beast. So, let's get on to the top 2. So here we are, my friends, with the top 2. I think most of you would be able to work out who these top 2 players are. I think... Do I even name them in case people have forgotten? No, we're just going to name them. The top 2 players are Sergio Agrerro and Harry Kane. I don't think any is a surprise. Although, I suppose in real life, Sergio Agrerro, I'm not sure. He's going to be rotated a lot with Gabriel Jesus. So I don't really know if he's going to do as many goals this season. But in second place, it is Agrerro for Man City. 16.93. Finished top goal scorer 21 times. What can you say about this bloke? He's just really, really good at scoring the goals, isn't he? He's only little, but he scores a load of goals. And that's Sergio Agrerro. I've got nothing to add. What do I say about Sergio Agrerro? There you go, that'll do. And in at number 1, do you remember when we used to call this guy the one-season wonder? It is, of course, Harry Kane for Tottenham. 19. Look at the jump. 19.17 goals on average per season, with top goal scorer 47 times, almost half the times that we did this experiment, he was top goal scorer. The guy is an absolute beast. He's not the quickest, but every other element of the game he is just superb at. Like I said, it's interesting we talked when he had that breakout season and everyone's going, no, he's a one-season wonder and stuff like this. If he carries on going the way he is in real life, he's just going to end up with... He could overtake Alan Shearer as top Premier League goal scorer, I think. As long as he sort of keeps on going. I'd love for him to stay at Tottenham for his career. I really appreciate players that stay at one team for a very long time. Whether the big, the Real Madrids of this world or Barcelona's come in for him, I don't know. But I think he should just stay there and become an absolute legend. As you see by his goal-scoring record, he's way ahead of everybody. He's prolific. He doesn't really get injured very much. He never seems to have a drop-off. When I was doing the data entry, he never really had a drop-off season or anything like that. Absolute monster. So, I don't know. Let me know in the comments if there's anybody that you are surprised that's not on the list. I think one for me was Vardy. He actually finished 21st, like literally maybe 2 or 3 goals behind Callum Wilson. I think actually what happened was a couple of times he was sold to other clubs. He's been to Man United, he's been to Man City, but he was never the first choice. So he went there and didn't get games, therefore didn't score goals, therefore hurt his average. And that's what happened. Also a couple of injuries, but he would have been there otherwise. But let me know if there's anybody else that you're surprised that isn't in the list. And also people that you are surprised are, like Chris Wood, Florin Andone. Still have no idea. Can't be asked to look him up because that would take effort. But there we go, my friends. That is the goal scoring experiment. Really, really pleased with how this turned out. Really loved it. You know, it took me. I'll show you my database thing, my spreadsheet. So as you can see, here is part of my spreadsheet. We've got this is the goals tally. So as you can see, there's a ton of players on here, but I had to then narrow it down. So this is the top 20 goal scorers from each of the 100 season that I input, and then anybody that was like close, I then filled in the gaps, and we ended up with basically, because obviously this is the top 20, so that, like, say for instance Harry Kane at the top here, season 44 he didn't get in the top 20 strikers, but obviously he must have scored a couple of goals or something. So then I went in, picked all the top goal scorers, and then filled in all the rest of the details. So here we've got all the exact numbers filled in and all that sort of good stuff. Here it is for the league table that we did. So a lot of work has gone into this spreadsheet, boys. It's a ton of work. So I'd appreciate a like and a share. Even better if you could share this on Twitter or Facebook or wherever you post such things, Reddit or wherever. I've really enjoyed it. It's been fascinating, and I definitely want to do it with FM19 and do the same thing. Obviously, we've got the next up. We've got the assists. So I'm going to input all the data, same data, very sort of similar video, but from the creative side. So there we go. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me know your thoughts about it in the comments below. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in part 3. Bye-bye.